My name is Kristen West, and I am a registered dietitian. I currently work for Baton Rouge General. I've been there for about 7 years, and I'm very passionate about nutrition, and I believe that food is medicine, and that what you eat today has the ability to impact your future. So I'm so excited that Kristen asked me to come on tonight and just talk to you guys a little bit about nutrition. I've known Kristen for probably about 4 years now. We used to work together for a wellness company, and we just made an instant connection and have been great friends ever since. So like I said, I work at Baton Rouge General, specifically working for patients who have diabetes or who need weight loss. And by the way, let's see if you guys, can anyone hear me? You guys could let me know. Can anyone hear me? If you guys could let me know. I think I'm having some internet issues from the storm earlier today. But for those of you who did not hear originally, my name is Kristen West, and I'm a dietitian. I work currently for Baton Rouge General for about 7 years, and I specifically work with people who are seeking weight loss or just seeking nutrition information to manage chronic conditions like diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure. So I'm very passionate about nutrition, and I fully believe that food is medicine. And that what you eat today has the ability to impact your future. And so gonna just be here to answer a couple of nutrition questions that you may have. So if some of you could just let me know that you can hear me, if you could give me a shout out, just a simple hey and maybe your name, so that I could know that you were hearing me. I'm trying to make sure that I'm still connected to the internet here. So if you could give me a shout, that would be great. And like I said, just here to answer your questions and gonna go through several nutrition tips that I think are really helpful, and then talk about some benefits of the prep. So let's see here, viewers, let's see if I can see who we have here. Okay, let's see. Okay. Yes, okay, thank you for the confirmation. I appreciate that. So I'm just gonna get rolling, and if you have questions, please ask. Like I said, I've known Kristen for about 4 years now. We used to work together for a wellness company, and we just hit it off really well, and have been great friends ever since. And I love what she's doing with the prep. I think that in our world today, when we're all so busy and we have a million things on our plate, sometimes the last thing we want to be thinking about is what we need to cook for dinner. And when we consider some of the convenient options that are out there, it's the fast food and the frozen dinners, and often those things come very void of nutrients, and in fact come with a lot of things that actually deplete our body of nutrients. And so I love what she's doing with the prep, and that it gives you the option to just again, take that burden off of yourself to wonder, what am I going to eat this week? So I love that. I love that things are organic. Certainly when we take a look at our food industry today, we know that specifically with produce, the pesticides are increasing like crazy, specifically with gluten. I know that gluten sensitivity is on the rise, and a lot of that speculation is that it's coming from the glyphosate, which is a very harsh pesticide that they're using on the wheat crops. And so that's why we're seeing more and more people who are intolerant to gluten. A lot of people are just thinking that gluten-free is some fad, but in reality, gluten is causing a lot of issues for a lot of people, specifically those with autoimmune disease and digestive disorders. So gonna go ahead and just kind of give you guys some of my personal healthy eating tips that I do give out to my patients every single day. And if at any point you have a question about anything, I would just love for you to chime in and ask, and I'd be more than happy to answer it. So first and foremost, I think one of the key principles for healthy eating is to focus on balancing what you're eating at meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, with some protein, fat, and fiber. Okay, so we know that protein, fat, and fiber, when paired together, just have the ability to give you great appetite control. They have the ability to help minimize food cravings in between meals, and then also just help regulate your blood sugars and give you that steady blood sugar curve, which is extremely important if you have something like insulin resistance or diabetes. And so I do love that with the prep, you're getting a meal that's really well balanced with protein, fat, and fiber. And so with the protein, that's going to be things like your chicken, your seafood, your fish, your beef. And just to speak a minute about the protein. So protein is, super helpful for your immune system, your bone density, again, regulating your blood sugars and keeping you full and satisfied, preventing blood sugar spikes. And when we talk about protein, I always get the question, should I be buying organic? And my answer is always, if you can afford it, yes. Because the reality is not only, with the conventional meats, are you exposing yourself to harmful endocrine disrupting things, but also you're not getting the same nutrient profile. So for instance, with a cow that's fed grass, you're having a much higher content of omega-3 fatty acids, which are very anti-inflammatory. Versus when you're consuming the meat fed from conventional cows who are fed the grain and the corn, it does alter the fat profile, and it yields a much higher omega-6 intake. So you do want to do the grass-fed organic beef as a priority. And so same thing with the chicken. When the chicken is organic and it's free range and it has the ability to roam and eat bugs and grass and things like that, it really does significantly alter the nutrition profile. So organic meats are doing two things. They're exposing you to the good things and then helping you stay away from the bad things, the pesticides and the antibiotics and all of the hormones and things like that. So super important point there with the protein. And then when we talk about fat, primarily that's going to be what you're cooking your food in. And we know that even though a lot of them have the same calorie level, they have a very different impact in the body. So we really want to focus on those anti-inflammatory fats. So that's going to be things like olive oil, coconut oil is a great one, avocado oil. And you really want to make those your primary cooking fats. I know that that Kristen prepares the meals with those specific cooking fats. And the research does show that they're very effective at decreasing inflammation. And the reason that you want those fats in your meal is because they're going to help keep you full and satisfied. And they're also going to help you just have a better blood sugar outcome. So they're going to prevent those blood sugar spikes. If you guys could let me know if you're still able to hear me. Just making sure I haven't lost connection. I do see that I have 2 viewers. Let me see. Pause it for 1 second. Full and satisfied. And then they're very effective at decreasing inflammation in the body. So like I said, that olive oil is super effective. Coconut oil, avocado oil. And the reality is, if you're not having those healthy fats at your meals, you're going to be super hungry 2 hours after you eat. So I think a good gauge, if you're getting enough fat, is to really ask yourself, am I staying full in between meals? Am I, especially for at least 2 to 3 hours, am I feeling that feeling of fullness? And if you're not, then you may need to add a little bit of fat to your meal. Maybe drizzle a little bit of extra olive oil or add in some avocado to your salad or nuts and seeds or something like that. And then when we talk about the fiber, that's primarily going to come from your veggies. And that's certainly the best way to get your fiber. So I usually say make at least 50% of what you're eating vegetables. Now, again, when we talk about organic versus non-organic, It is going to be extremely important to buy things like spinach and kale organic, because they are on the Dirty Dozen list for 2019, meaning that they have the highest pesticide residue if they are not organic. So you do want to really prioritize buying those things organic. And you can even visit the EWG.org website to look at that Dirty Dozen list. Strawberries are also on there, apples, so things that we eat all the time. So you do want to be sure that you're trying to buy those things organic when you can. And so, again, your best sources of fiber are going to come from veggies. And so a great rule of thumb is just to dedicate half of your plate to vegetables. And we know that vegetables are certainly lowest in calories and carbohydrates, which help with weight loss and managing blood sugar, but they're also highest in nutrients. And the reality is, if you're not getting a good 4 servings of vegetables in a day's time, then your diet is going to be lacking in certain vitamins and minerals and antioxidants. And so I think that if you're doing Kristen's meals that have the veggies at the lunch and dinner, which is awesome, you could even snack on maybe some raw veggies with some hummus or some guacamole or something like that. I always tell everybody, there's no limit to the veggies that you eat. The more, the better. So make sure that when you're eating, you have the protein, you have the healthy fats, and then you have the vegetables. And then if you're choosing a carb, I always say choose your carb from something that nourishes your body. If we think about it, all carbs are not created equal. So a slice of bread is a carb, but so is an apple, and so is a sweet potato. So we want to eat our carbs in the most simplest form, right? Not the carbs that have 25 ingredients. And I usually say, an apple is an apple. A lentil is a lentil. A sweet potato is a sweet potato. And a piece of bread is 25 things, right? So you really want to prioritize choosing those carbohydrates with a lower glycemic index that aren't going to give you that big blood sugar and insulin spike, and that are going to give you some fuel and some nourishment. So you definitely want to have the protein, have the veggies cooked in the healthy fat, and then have your carbohydrate in its simplest form. Again, not the carbs that come with 25 ingredients. And to that point, I really encourage that people limit processed food, because the reality is, if you're eating processed foods, even if they're low calorie and low carbohydrate, but coming with all of these preservatives and these chemicals, the research is actually coming out to suggest that a lot of these preservatives are very disruptive for metabolism, for your brain health. In fact, a lot of the preservatives in our food supply have been linked to increases in ADHD and ADD in children and adults as well. So the more that you can stay away from those processed foods, the better. I'm wondering if maybe any of you guys have some questions to throw my way. I would love to answer them. I see Amanda.
Let me make sure I get to see y'all's comments. All right. Okay. Hello there, my Avoyles Prep page people. My name is Stephen Brooks. Welcome to the Ask the PT live broadcast. It's August 29th, 2019. I'm glad you guys could be here. We're going to go into a little background about myself for those of you who don't know me. I've been a PT and strength coach for about 18 years. I did my first 2 years at schooling at Miami-Dade, which is in Miami, Florida. Finished my undergrad at FIU. That's also a school in Miami. I went to Barry University for a while, and I transferred back to FIU to finish my graduate degree in exercise science. So I started as a PT in 2002 at Bally Total Fitness. I was a strength coach. I had a D1 university for about 3 years while I was in school. I moved back to Louisiana in 2008. I've been working as a PT and strength coach at Built by Don Fields Fitness Center since I moved back. So I'm a CSCS. I'm also the assistant powerlifting coach at Holy Savior Menard High School. Worked with just about every school and major lifter from this area at one point or another. as well as other athletes in various sports. And I also have an online training coaching business. So that wraps it up about me. So today I will be offering you guys some fat loss tips, training, and lifestyle suggestions so you can throw it in your program and so you can maximize your time in the gym as it relates to your goals as well as impact your overall health. I'm going to cover a lot of information. So take notes if you want. I do want to honor your time, so I don't want to be on this thing all night. So I won't go into too much detail. So now, first thing I'm going to suggest to do to free up more of your day, because I know you guys are busy. You guys don't want to waste your time in the gym. First topic, this pertains more to the ladies in our group. So, guys, y'all can, chill for a little bit. I'll get to you guys in a second. Ladies are first anyway. So now, sure, most everybody on this page, you guys exercise. In most cases, believe in almost every case, the first thing, okay, oh, hang on, guys. Let me silence that. Sorry about that. Now, what's the first thing you do when you guys walk in the gym with a bunch of scary looking machines you've never seen before, big old heavy weights, buff guys walking around with tattoos? First thing you do, in most cases, it's the only thing you do. Most women just walk over to the cardio room and you do mindless steady state cardio for just about the whole time you're in the gym, which includes the treadmill, the elliptical, the pre-core, and etc. And you ignore all the awesome tools behind you that could be benefiting you way more than the treadmill. Now, what awesome tools am I talking about? I'm talking about the scary weight room. I know gyms are scary, and I know when it comes to weight training, you're not sure what to do, how to do, what exercise to do. Is totally understandable. But the bottom line fact is that, going with the treadmill stuff, I can talk about it all night. Heavier circuit weight training has a much bigger impact on your everything than steady state cardio. Ups your metabolism, ups your fat loss, improves your body composition. That's a fat loss reason to do it. Increases your actual muscular structure. No, you're not going to turn into a man if you lift heavy weights, by the way. You don't have the hormones to get all like buff and jacked up. So heavier weight training will give you the shape you want that the world loves so much. So also, if you have more muscle, you're going to burn more fat. So more fat loss, we love it. So it'll increase more your hormones that'll burn more fat. It also helps with stress management. Stress does cause unnecessary weight gain, like fat. So who wants that? Not me. So now I'm not saying cardio, mindless treadmill cardio is bad. It's definitely better than nothing. But sometimes I get on the treadmill. But what I suggest is don't be afraid to grab heavier dumbbells or just lift heavier and challenge yourself because, you will, you all heard the coin phrase, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. So now, if you guys aren't sure what to do when you're working out, you guys could either, you can go talk to a staff member or, you can look it up on YouTube or you can contact me if you would like. So, okay, now for the guys in the group, it's pretty simple, consider everything I just said to the ladies, except, you're going to add some testosterone in the conversation. Basically, if you want to add more muscle and lose some body fat, increase your volume of your weight training as in lifting heavier, going to volitional failure or doing more reps in a small amount of time, or just spending more time in the eccentric phase of the movement, and making sure you're getting enough uninterrupted sleep. So recovery is big when it comes to your desired training goals. So I didn't mention this earlier with the ladies, but you need sleep too. So growth hormone and all the other hormones that you want peak in your sleep. So all the things that we aim for with the hormonal response to different modes of training happens in our sleep. So everybody needs sleep. Sleep's very important. So lift more and sleep more. All right. No questions. Anybody said anything? No? Okay. There we go. All right, guys. Now, let me cover my notes here. So now with all my talk about training, when it really comes to changing the way you look and feel, I think all people that are watching this on this page want to look and feel better. 80 to 90% of anything you want is in your nutrition plan. Even with a phenomenal program for any kind of structural health goal, whatever, exercising is at best 20%. So if you have some sort of limitations, it's even less. So now, I didn't mention above, but back in the day, I was a high-level competitive powerlifter in college. So nutrition and supplementation was just as much as part of my program as my training. So up until recently, I struggled with getting enough nutrition and supplementation in. I didn't have time to food prep. I was all about getting my calories in. I wasn't considering where the calories were coming from, getting enough calories, my pre and post workout recovery, just about anything and everything food and supplementation had to offer. I struggled with considering everything I knew. So even being in the health and fitness field. So, believe it or not, back then, which was a while ago, I did lack some education that I really needed to have more of an impact on my general health, as well as pass it on to my clients. So I didn't realize then that now that it does matter where food comes from. Basically, to put things into perspective, when you guys have your eating plan, the hamburger from McDonald's is not the same as the grass-fed beef burger from Outback. Livestock, red meat, and this, I'm not saying the red meat out, but depending on where you get it from, it's shot with antibiotics, hormones, steroids, you name it. That's going into our food system, and I was eating it. So as well, it's probably you. So sourcing does matter, okay, and ingredients matter as well. But everything I was doing then, it was tough back then. It almost felt like a job, and a lot of people still feel overwhelmed when it comes to changing your lifestyle because it is challenging. But there are solutions, so we'll talk about that in a second. So hold that thought. So let's fast forward to today. Kristen and I met this year. We talked online about training and about nutrition and all that jazz. And so the next thing we know, she's, in the gym where I train, and we're doing a consultation. So in our initial consultation, we got into the lifestyle part with nutrition and things of the such. And, we both realized that we saw eye to eye on the same level about a lot of things. We both used a holistic nutrition approach with our nutrition and our supplementation. I'm sorry, I got off track. Excuse me. We both used a holistic nutrition approach with our food and our supplementation. So with everything I mentioned earlier about all the nutrition supplementation issues I had in college, I still had the same food prep issue, which I wasn't doing it. And, I would try, but I usually would fail miserably. So, I don't know, believe everybody knows, Kristen just so happens she preps food for people. So, and she does possess, if not the same, probably more knowledge about nutrition than me. So I'm a client of hers now. I eat the bodybuilding prep. So, if you guys want the bigger meal, y'all should try it out. It's bomb. I love it. And I know it's healthy, and it's fueling my body, and it's comforting to me to know that it's available to me, that I didn't have this in college. And so I'm loving it. So, but anyways, so we got any questions? Hey, no. All right. I guess we got 11 viewers now. Okay. So now on more to the actual lifestyle change. Now there is an easy to follow lifestyle hack that I'm gonna get into now. Now everybody knows processed foods are terrible for you. Diet, even like the diet stuff is bad for you as well. So like Diet Coke, for example, it does you no justice with the aspartame and artificial flavoring that's in it. So it's actually it's better to drink standard Coke than drink the aspartame and the other stuff that it has more of a weight gaining effect than it does the regular Coca-Cola. So, which I don't drink either. But now what I try to do is I educate people on what to avoid to make healthy choices. So if you're aware of artificial flavoring, artificial coloring, GMOs, stomach irritants, heavy metals, all that stuff, it's in almost everything on the shelves at the grocery store, and the health food store. So you're probably buying it on the daily and you don't even know it. So what I've done over the last few years, Kristen is doing this as well, is we supplement a meal replacement or replacements on the daily to bridge the nutrition gap with good fats, good carbs, fiber, undernature protein, micronutrients, the whole 9 yards with the clean ingredient list, not causing more problems than it's preventing. So if you guys know this, but a lot of the health problems we have today are directly related to the things that we eat. Okay, I know most people are on the go. Drinking a meal replacement shake takes less than a minute to make. I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner when I was in college. I was always pressed for time. It seemed like it was like a no-brainer. So I don't know if any of you ever tried. Like back then, I was eating 3,500 plus calories. So if you've ever tried to eat that much in one day, and do that day in and day out, it's pretty difficult if you do healthy whole food sources. And I did that in college. Sometimes it was hard getting those things in, like vegetables and fiber sources, things I didn't really enjoy eating. I didn't really enjoy eating them, but I had to eat them because it was part of my program. And sometimes I didn't eat them because I was too mentally tired. I didn't want to force feed myself. So this whole concept of the shake system with supplementation is much easier to ingest, and it fills in the gaps of my program. So now, notice I said meal replacement, not protein shake. Somebody can ask about that in the Q&A. So y'all know, what a meal replacement should be. Some supplements you see out there say meal replacement, but they're really not. So now there's a standard nutrition model we follow with meal plan options. I'll follow a different different than the standard because I'm on a bodybuilding prep. So the food and shakes in my daily will look different than others. Krista is doing the standard nutrition model we follow. Along with that, she does a nutritionally cell-supported cleanse once a week. There's 5 parts to the weight loss system that we use. The cleanse is a major part of it, especially if you're not exercising. It's also a big part of the performance system as well, even though, guys, you heard the word weight loss. I cleanse myself. It jacks up your growth hormone, helps with cell rejuvenation, all this good stuff that's super healthy for you, So now, I'm going to toot a little horn for Kristen a little bit. Since we've been working out, she's done the cleanse and she started her shakes and everything. She's down 9 pounds of fat. She's 3.52% body fat. She's lost an inch on each arm, 4 inches in her stomach, which is big. That's huge, and 2 inches in her leg. So now, dropping body fat is probably the most important thing, health aspect when it comes to assessing your health. I know people like to use the scale, but it's kind of a good tool to use to gauge your health at times. Because sometimes it doesn't change, but your body composition can be changing. So having a high level of body fat puts you at a much higher risk for health problems than being heavier, because I'm overweight, but I have a lot of muscle mass. So now, so that wraps it up now.
Guys, we're with Dr. Dixie today, and we're going to be doing the drawing for our 6-month giveaway, which is valued at over $1,200. So.
Well, I'm very pleased to be here. I was asked to go ahead and do the drawing, and I'm so glad my name is in that drawing, and I promise it's not rigged. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about health and wellness and the reason why I actually eat her meals. Being a very busy mother of 2, I work long hours. My name is Dr. Dixie Clement from Complete Family Care of Avoyelles. We're right across from Avoyelles Hospital. And I think we can put a link below after the video if you would like to discuss more about nutrition, or if you need a wellness appointment, or if you have a problem. But I'm always up for discussing nutrition. The biggest question I get is, Dr. Dixie, how do I lose weight? What kind of diet should I follow? How do I be healthy, lower my cholesterol? And I'm not a big fan of diets. I always believe in clean eating, portion control, and I guess more clean ingredients and organic ingredients. So when Kristen came along with her meal prep, I was very interested because, number one, it saves me time because I don't have to cook the food. Before this, I was doing a service where they would send me the raw ingredients and I had to actually cook them, which was time consuming. My kids didn't eat the food, so I was having to prepare for not only what they ate and then what I would eat on the side. So this is very easy. I can pop it in the microwave, and I know that it has healthy nutrition, including vegetables, which I'm not a big fan of preparing. So she has everything balanced for me in the meals. So I feel that I'm getting all of my nutrition. She even calculates the nutritional value, which is very important to me. But like I said, most of all, it is serving sizes, which I think is contributing to the obesity in our community and in our world. So it has kind of retrained my stomach to show me that I don't need the big portions. I'm not eating with my eyes, and I'm not letting hunger control me any longer. I'm feeding my body and not just eating with my eyes, like I said. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here. If you have any other questions about nutrition, I think Kristen does a fabulous job with the meal prep. And a lot of people say I don't have the money to do this. And when you break down the cost per meal, it's really inexpensive. Our grocery bill has gone down actually because we don't have to buy the meats and the sides. And by the time you break it down per meal, it is really affordable. So it's something to consider. Without further ado, I'm going to close my eyes so nobody